John, I am so glad that you decided to meet with me today. Buying a home is a big deal, and having a realtor by your side can make all the difference.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it, and I'm not really sure I need a realtor. I've been browsing online listings myself, and I think I can handle it myself.
I understand exactly where you're coming from. Let me tell you how having a realtor can be beneficial for you. One of the first things that I do is I curate a list of available properties with the features that you want. That saves you time and ensures that the properties meet your criteria.
Well, that does sound helpful. I've been feeling a little overwhelmed with all the different options out there.
Exactly. And once we have that list, I will schedule and accompany you on appointments, whether virtual or in person. This gives you a chance to view the properties firsthand and decide what works best for you.
I hadn't thought about that. It would be nice to have someone handle all the logistics for me.
And once we're out viewing properties, I'll provide you with market research on the neighborhoods, local amenities, and homeowners associations. I think it's important that you have all of the information that you need to make an informed decision.
That's great. I've been wondering about the different neighborhoods in the area and what they have to offer.
Another key aspect of my role is to disclose any known information on the properties that may affect your decision to make an offer. Transparency is key, and it's important that you have all of the information that you need to make an informed decision.
Well, that's reassuring. I've heard horror stories about people buying a home and finding out about hidden issues later on.
Unfortunately, that can happen, but with my professional knowledge and skills, I can help you negotiate the contract for the best terms possible. Whether it's price, home repairs, or contingencies, I'll work hard to ensure that you get a fair deal.
I like the sound of that. But what about when we find the right home? What happens then?
When we find the right home, I will analyze comparable home sales and assist you in making an offer. And then when it comes to negotiating the terms of purchase, I will be your advocate every step of the way.
That's reassuring. I've heard negotiations can be really tricky.
It can be, but I have years of experience navigating these negotiations, and I will coordinate any necessary appointments, from home inspections to appraisals, to ensure that everything is in order.
That's a relief. I wouldn't even know where to start with any of that.
And when it comes time to close, I'll coordinate with the lender, the title company, and all parties involved to ensure that everything runs smoothly. And I'll even accompany you to the final walkthrough to ensure that everything is in order before closing.
Wow. I didn't even know a realtor did all of that. It's almost as if having you a part of the process makes it run that much more smoother.
And after closing, I will be here for you for anything that you need as well. Whether you have questions about the home or need recommendations on local services, I will just be a phone call away.
Wow. I really appreciate you saying that. In the beginning of this process, it felt somewhat daunting, but now I feel like I have someone that I can trust through this process.
That's what I'm here for, John. And most importantly, I adhere to a strict code of ethics so that you can trust that I always have your best interests at heart.
Well, Sarah, you've definitely convinced me. I'm ready to start this journey with you.
I am thrilled to hear that, John. Let's get started finding your dream home. Welcome to 123 Main Street. Come in and make yourself comfortable as you look around.
Thank you. I really like this one. I hope it's as nice in person as it is in the pictures. Thank you. Oh, wow. This is great. These hardwood floors are nice. But I do see some damage that looks like water damage. I wonder if there's a leak I need to be concerned about.
At first glance, it does just appear to be cosmetic. However, I'm not the professional one to determine this, so I will help you work with a home inspector to determine if there's moisture in the area or if there's a bigger concern that we need to be made aware of. At that point, we can review your contract to see the guidelines for repairs that we can ask the seller to address. Verbiage on a contract is very important, so I can help you formulate an offer that will protect you from the inspection findings if that's a concern for you.
Okay. Wow. This is a beautiful backyard. It gives me those peaceful vibes I wanted without actually being on the water. Now, I like the beach, but I prefer to be away from the Gulf so I don't have to deal with flooding as much, you know?
I'm glad that you said that. Did you know that flood zones don't necessarily correlate with nearby water? They're actually based on the property's elevation. And from my research shows that this property is in an X flood zone, but a survey and elevation certificate will help us confirm that.
Okay. What is an X flood zone?
It's a good question. Flood zones are based on the risk of that specific property flooding. Based on a variety of factors, lenders may require flood insurance for certain zones. Rates can vary based on the zone. I work with trusted insurance agents that can help us figure out a potential cost of the insurance. Well, John, I hope you enjoyed seeing this property. It seems like it checks off quite a few boxes for you.
It really does. I especially love that long driveway. It's gonna be a perfect place to park my boat.
Well, as a reminder, this home is in an HOA neighborhood, so there may be restrictions on what may be parked in front of the home. I will pull the HOA documents and we can sit and review the homeowner's rights, restrictions, and fees. That way you can come into an offer fully informed.
Okay. You know, to be honest, you mentioned a lot of things that surprised me today, and I'm so glad that you were here to make sure I didn't forget anything important. This is all somewhat overwhelming.
Well, there is a lot that a buyer doesn't necessarily realize comes into play when purchasing a home.
Yeah.
And my job is to protect your interest and to make sure that you walk into an offer with the full picture at hand.
Hello?
Hi, John.
Hey.
I have received and reviewed the home inspection report.
Okay.
And the good news is that the stain on the hardwood floor is cosmetic. However, the wood destroying organism report didn't go quite as well.
Okay, wow. I'm so glad you encouraged me to get that termite inspection. What did they find?
The inspector determined that there is an active area of termites near the back patio door. It appears to be isolated to the door jamb, but further investigation is required to ensure that there's not additional damage.
Oh.
Let's write an addendum requesting that the seller allow the termite company to rule out structural damage, treat the infestation, and replace the damaged wood with material that won't rot. Termites love wet and rotting wood.
Oh, okay.
Since the inspector believes that the rot was caused by rainwater splashing, I'd also recommend that we request the seller install gutters on the back of the home.
Okay, well, that sounds like a good plan. Send it over and I'll get it right back to you.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Alrighty. Bye. Hello?
Hi, John.
Hey.
Good news. The seller has agreed to repair and treat the area of termites.
Okay.
They are tight on funds, so they did not want to install gutters on the back of the home. So I suggested we make an allowance at closing, and they agreed.
Huh.
I've taken the liberty to obtain 3 quotes for you. So once you select a service, we will update the paperwork and have everybody sign.
This is great. Thank you so much for all of your hard work to get this corrected. This brings me such peace of mind.
You are very welcome.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you for coming to meet me, John. I wanted to show you the survey results that we received. As you can see, the property line is 2 feet behind the neighbor's fence. They actually installed their fence on this property. The homeowner spoke with the neighbor and they said that they did not receive a survey before installing the fence. They just guessed on the property line. So they have actually agreed to move the fence onto their property before we close.
So does this mean my beautiful backyard will be even bigger?
Yes, right, 2 feet.
Wow. Once again, your advice is just so on point. I can't thank you enough for expressing the importance of getting a survey. I'm so glad to have you part of this process.
While we're here, I did remember that you mentioned wanting to install a flagpole out front. So I reviewed the Homeowners Association documents, and there are restrictions on the size and the location of a flagpole. So we will want to reach out to the HOA to discuss their guidelines to protect you from any potential violations or fines.
This is so exciting. I'm so glad I get to keep the flagpole and I didn't have to pay that HOA application fee. The gutters are going to be installed tomorrow and I love my even bigger backyard. What a bonus for me.
I am so happy for you, John. It has been a pleasure.
Sarah, you have made this process so much more smoother and saved me so much money and trouble. I don't know why anybody would buy without the help of a local realtor. Now, this is my dream home, but if I ever do move, I will be sure to entrust that process of buying and selling to my new favorite CPAR realtor.